on your Monday. And I just have a couple of thoughts here. Now, I'm not sure whether you guys are aware of this particular story, and I haven't had a chance to cover it, but I may get to cover it later today. However, happy Monday to you, wherever you are, and this is Mental Health Month. I think is what they've got all this mental health stuff going on. But this has been deemed, the month of May has been deemed Mental Health Month. And this particular story, apparently, a child it looks like out of the Chicago area. It looks like he was pretty, well off, or going to a pretty pristine school, a Latin school, I believe. You can check it out yourself. But there's a student that actually that committed suicide due to the bullying on his mocktail status. So I find, it's tragic, because it turns out, there's a story in the actual New York Post. I haven't cross-referenced it with any other editorials or postings on that particular story. But apparently the student committed suicide after he being rumored that he wasn't mocktailed, in fact he was. But of course, this is one of these, I guess it's one of these really elite Latin schools, really pristine schools. Chicago, is it Cook County, I believe, is where the report, I think, is coming out of. Yeah, Cook County, I believe, is where it's coming out of. But apparently, the school, the teachers, it's hard enough to have peer pressure as a student, but then when you have adults that are, bullying and badgering, and, you got a bit of a homegrown, a bit of a home base or school base kind of bullying going on. Hi, Derek C. Williams. Derek C. Williams right here. He says, Cook County. Yes, he hung himself. And but do you see, like, it's like a mob. We've got, to me, what is the difference between this and like a mob rule? Like you've got these mob rule style teachers, and they're harassing the students, harassing your kid, making or under the cut, below the belt comments about students, and something like this happens, which of course the school's they're not gonna take responsibility, because they don't want to, they're not going to want to, they don't want to, they're trying to, save face, of course, because they don't want to take any responsibility for their actual role in this, which I'm sure it was pretty big. And it's quite tragic, I mean, honestly, it's one thing for kids to have to deal with bullying when it comes to peer pressure and that kind of a bit. But then when you've got adults that are doing these things to you, I feel for the kid. I think there's, in the article, it talks about the parents actually were reaching out to, they reached out to the school, the counselors, out of concern that he might, do something harmful to himself. I don't know, but to me, money cannot buy you a conscience. It cannot buy you, it doesn't buy you anything. So yeah, the school is some elite place, that's what, about 40,000 a year for tuition, something like that. And yet, they are in-house, they're destructive. It's a destructive place, psychologically, and yeah, they're destroying their own students. So see, even to me, this is where I think that it comes down to where money cannot buy you everything. It cannot. And especially to me, I think the elite, they eat their own. And unfortunately, this is a child that was sacrificed. amongst their own. Like, what do you guys remember that movie, The Skulls? Where basically, they have their own, these people have their own hazing practices. And to me, this is no different than that. These people think that they can create their own, little societies and worship their own little gods and their own little deities, and think they're still going to be blessed, or they still think that karma is not going to, some kind of artifact is not going to come back, some type of retribution is not going to naturally come back to them. But they're wrong. You're not. There's evil in all of them. Evil in everything. I think there's darkness in everything. Even at a pristine school, an elite school. And I know, we all know that Chicago has its own elite. We know that, and they're corrupt. It's a corrupt culture. But yeah, to me, this is no different than, it's almost like you kind of sign your kid up for, you're keeping your kid in that line in that pedigree, and they suffer. It could have happened anywhere. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, well, it's only happened because it was in an elite school, and no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying it could have happened anywhere, but most people would not think that something like that would happen at a school in that kind of a prestigious school, a Latin school. But to me, I think those are some of the bedrocks of a lot of these societies, and they eat their own. It doesn't matter. Dare I say, I won't say the survival of the fittest. Because you got to survive. You got to survive in your own class. It doesn't, whatever that class is, whether it's a hood or a ghetto or whatever you want to call it, a trailer park. You got to be able to survive in that neck of the woods. I don't know, but my heart goes out to the kids, parents, and but yeah, I just think that we have a problem, a society problem overall. These are dark days, and it's not even getting any play. That's Chicago's own, and I haven't seen this on any major news outlets. It's not all over the news. No, it's not. It's not all over the news. Let's see. Let me just read some. Let me say hi to everybody in the stream. We go to the top. Mindy, 1951. Good morning to you. Marty Lauderdale and Derek C. Williams. Thank you so much for coming in. And Derek C. Williams has too much of a Karen thing going on. I appreciate you for coming in from the alleged birthplace of freedom. And Mindy 1951 says there's so much evil in the world, or maybe it's always been here and it's now becoming more visual. Well, they're just drawing it out, I think. Mindy 1951. I think they're just drawing it out. And hi, AZ. It's been a long time. Nice to see you. Derek comes in and he says a student in North Pennsylvania had a mask taped to his face by a teacher. But see, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like these teachers are becoming like trial and yeah, it's like they go to their own little hell. Like school is a little hell for people, for kids right now. And I can't believe people are still going. Hi, tinfoil brat. I can't believe people are still subjecting their kids to these environments. I don't. I mean, even at $40,000 a year, your child is still subject to whatever, whatever they want to dish out. They really are. But yeah, it's just like I said, it's a class. You're just not exempt from the evils and the darkness of people. And I just think that there's a lot of darkness just overall. Like there's like darkness everywhere, places that you wouldn't think. And unfortunately, a child had to die in that situation. I mean, he didn't have to die. Let me take that back. But unfortunately, he thought there was no way out. And I would imagine even if they had taken him to another school, this, you know, he probably was worried about his reputation. I mean, he probably was. Yeah, so that's kind of like, it